Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing the next 4 stages of the Hachette Partworks release to build the U96 U-Boat. Now if you remember in the last pack we did this, check that out, that looks cool doesn't it? And I believe we are going to be building onto this. We've got some more bulkheads to do as well. We've done that one as well. And we did have this pipe left over here. Now we also, in this one, apart from just getting the 4 stages that we normally get, we got a mystery box. Now in this box, I believe we've got some of the figures. So let's have a look at those. Let's get these open. They are protected in foam here, and each is individually wrapped. And they are very heavy, and they're very cold, which means that these are metal. These figures are metal figures. That's one. Do they stand up by themselves? They do, so we've got one there. Let's, whoops. And they are all different. Look, this guy's got a goatee and a different hat on, so he can, oh, he don't stand up. Oh, yes, he does. There we go. Let's try the next one. Got this one here. I do like how each figure is individually got its own personality and stuff. Check that out. And then finally, I don't know how many of these we're going to get. But look, we've got a saluting officer there. So that is all 4 figures that we get in this pack. That's pretty cool. I like that. And I like the fact that they're metal, so they're not going to break easily. That's pretty cool. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. And there's also a QR code on the screen. 4 stages today. One other thing to mention, that I do now have my pin vise back. So if anyone's wondering about this, let me just show you that. This is just a pin vise with a normal pin stuck in the end. And basically, when I'm putting my glue on, if I'm just doing small areas, I put my glue into here, touch this in, and that's what I touch it with. Now, I've got a big thank you to Murray Gayski in Australia, who managed to get me some of this glue. Now, this is all the way from Oz. I believe it's Japanese, but it is a brush-on glue. So I've now got some brush-on glue again, as you can see. But that does come all the way from Australia. So thank you, Murray, for that. He sent me like 4 bottles of it, so I'm not going to run out anytime soon. So if you're wondering where that comes from, it's from Australia. Anyway, without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so in stage 37, we're going to be doing the Aft Central Bulkhead. Let me get all of this open. I've also got my God Hand sprue cutters available. I got these through emodels.co.uk. And the first thing I'm going to do is take this detail and just glue this into this area here. So let's get my new brush on glue, and I can put this on points all around here and glue that into place. Now I need this frame here. I'm going to be cutting all of these parts off. Okay, the first big detail I've got here is going to be going into that position just there. So let's get that one in first. The advantage with a brush on glue, I can just touch it on there, you see. I've got a smaller detail here, which is just going in the top here. This detail here is just going into this point there. And then finally, this detail I've got here is just going into that position there. So that's that sprue dealt with. I now need this sprue, looking like that. Take this black piece out. Again, just a bit of glue on the edges here. See, not a lot at all. That's going into the position just here. That way round. And then finally, I'm just going to be putting some glue just on these pipes here. Putting one in this side and one in this side just here. Got these tiny blue details now, which are going to be going into these 2 points here. Let me put those in. And that's how they look when they're in. Then I'm working off this sprue. So once again, glue on the sides. This one's going in here. This piece here goes just at the top. And then finally, these smaller pieces are going in here. And this one is just going next to it here. So now that's how that should look. And lastly, I just want to take these large wheels off of here and get these into position. So one just there, one there. And then the last wheels that we've got, the bigger one here, goes there. And then the two smaller ones just above it. And with those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 38 here, I've got the command room deck looking like this. I think what I'm going to do is pre-cut everything off this sprue. We've only got one sprue on this one. And I need to take this little section here first. I've got this large detail to go in first. Just take it for granted that I'm gluing everything in here. And that's how that fits in. There's a little D-shaped pattern on this funnel section. But that pipe should look like that. Put that to one side and bring over this little detail now. I've got this tiny section to put in here. That's looking good. And then bring over this deck. And these are actually just going to go into the positions here. So I'm going to put some glue in here. And then drop that into place. Perfect. And do the same with the one next to it. You do have a lug on the bottom of these, so it does help to line this up. Just like that. That's looking good. All I'm going to do then is I'm going to be gluing these two parts here together. Put some glue just down the sides, and I tend to just put some glue just on the edges here as well. So that means I can just quite simply piece these together. I want to put this collar section on here, which is basically just doing a dry fit, is going to go in here. Just going to see how this fits, just like that. I don't need to glue that. That's got in really tight, but I am going to need to glue this to the top of it. I say I'm going to need to glue it, but I don't need to glue that at all. That's in. As you can see, it holds itself, so I'm going to leave that as it is. Now I've just got one final detail to put in, which is this one here. Just put some glue just around the edge here. And that's just going to go into the cavity into the side just there. And with that done, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 39, I'm going to be doing the navigation table. And the first things to do with that is to actually put these two parts together, which look like this. So a bit of glue again. Now this is going to be glued into the position just here. So again, I'm going to do a dry fit just to see how this fits. And you know what? It snaps in. They're telling us to glue it. I don't really want to use glue when I don't have to. Look how tight that's in. I'm going to leave that as it is. Then got some parts on this sprue, which I just need to cut off. Once again, I'm just putting these together. And I need this detail here. It looks like a pipe, which is on this sprue. That's going onto this lug just here. And then this whole section, once again, more glue. Just onto the edges here and here. Because this is going to be going onto the side here. Let me just put this in. So now that looks like that. I've got this red wheel. Tiniest amount of glue. It's going into the hole just underneath this. Kind of think that would have been easier to put that wheel in first, actually. And I've got another hand wheel just here, which is a grey one. Again, bit of glue. And that's just going to go onto the end of this section just here. Got some large boxes to cut off now. Let's get all of these off. And I need this plate to mount them to. So having this section here towards me, I'm going to be taking some glue along the sides and putting the 3 dots on this side here. Then the 2 dots next to it. And then finally just this square piece. So this is the periscope sight, the map box and the mounting plate all on there. Now this is going to be going into these positions just here. So I want to put glue along this edge and get that into position. And now I've got this detail here, which is the back plate with the echo sounder on. I'm going to detach some lockers, which I've got on this sprue. Just do a quick dry fit on this, just to see how this goes on. It's going to fit on just like that. So a bit of glue on these. And then these, as you see, we've got 3 lugs down the bottom are going to go into these points just here. Again, I'm just checking how they fit. This is going to need a bit of glue. So that's all glued up. Let's just push that into position there. Looking good. Finally, the last thing to do is going to be putting some glue just onto these sections here. Matter of fact, they can probably just fit over these parts here, because this is going to be going into the holes here, and that looks really good, and that's all there is to do at that stage. Now in the last stage of this pack, this is stage 40. Again, we've got lots of sprues here. So I'm going to be doing the bilge pump and also the additional command room furnishings. So first thing to do is these compressed air bottles. I'm going to be putting these together. I always have a cotton bud handy just in case I do get glue seepage from the side, just to clear that up. We've got some pins down the bottom here. So I'm just going to be putting some glue just on this edge here. Not on the pins, because this is going to go into these 2 holes just down here. And in a similar way, I've got this pipe to go in. As you can see, we've got this pipe in now, which has gone in just like that. Now I'm going to be putting some glue along this edge here. This is the an edge part for this command room deck. And that goes in this way into slots at the back here. There you go. That's how that's looking from that side. And I'm going to be cutting all the details off this sprue here. So, larger detail here first is going to go into this slot here. This time I'm going to be putting glue just directly on the base here, because I can see where this is going to go. Just goes into the position here. I've got these 2 parts here that I need to piece together. And once again, just put some glue on the edges, because this is going to go next to this piece. The auxiliary bilge pump consists of these 2 parts, which again I need to piece together. And I need to cut this part from the sprue just here, because this is just going to go into the top here. It can only go in one way because there's a little notch there which will stop it going the other way. So let me get this in. And then a bit more glue just on the bottom here, because this is going to be straddling the black pipe we put in. It's going to go into this point just there. Like that. Okay, next part to go in. Looks like this. Again, glue just on the bottom. Going into these holes here. Perfect. And then finally, a bit of glue just onto these points to put this one in as well, which goes into here. Like that. Looking good. Now, on here I've got the helmsman's seat. Let's cut this off. Again, just touching glue around the edge. That goes in here. Then the bench. Again, lightest amount of glue just around the edge. That goes in here. I've got the 2 parts of the gyro compass now to cut off. And once again, these are just going together. Just put some glue at the bottom. And this one goes in here. And believe it or not, that is all there is to do in that stage. And that's all there is to do in that pack. We have got some parts left over. We've got this ladder here, looking like that. And I do have this pipe here as well that we've got to keep safe. So much for my dabbing stick there. I didn't need that at all, but I probably will be using that ahead, because a lot of the stuff there, can't get it into my work tidy there, a lot of the stuff there we didn't need it, to be honest with you. It took too much space, but it's looking good, isn't it? There you go. Very good. Once again, if you want to get this for yourself, have the link in the video description. There's also that QR code on the screen, but I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.